boy Bleeves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 It's been a long day, I mean a long week, maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot, ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling. Cocky and appealing, possibly revealing, getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom, something like a wonderland. Understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What in the butt? I said what in the butt? I said what? Oh, hello. My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves. And yeah, that was free of charge. So hope everybody's having a good morning. Let's get a chat real quick and let's get this going. Chris Rowley says, I personally can't see Bitcoin reaching 40K by next week. Me either. But guess what? It's happened before. It happened during the last rally. We went from 20,000 to 42,000 in a 14-day window. So I don't see it happening either, but the market was dead. Nothing could have possibly done anything to cause a 20,000 to 40,000 Bitcoin. And guess what happened? We got a 20,000 to 40,000 Bitcoin in the course of 2 weeks. Now, what we did get so far is we got a rally that took us to from 20 to 23,000. So we're already making our way there. And this week is going to tell us whether or not this rally is on or not. And if you looked at the pre-markets, you saw that we were down on the Dow. I'm going to show you something. It's hilarious when we look at it. But you know what? Let's just hold on and you'll see it. Gerhardt, hope you're doing. Yes, I'm doing really good. I do believe between March and June, you'll see a 40 and then a 50% dump. If I look at previous runs, I see Bitcoin doing 800% pump late 2024 at best before the next 80% dump. Hey, here's the funny part. When you look at the chart and you start to put the pen to paper and you start to define your lows and highs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is the low from we were over it, but we were at the low from the last rally, and now we're about to go to the next bull run cycle. But we go to the bull run cycle, and then our next low could be 69,000 because that's where our high is right now. So just consider in a worst case scenario, 4 years from now, we're going to be looking at a $69,000 Bitcoin saying, can't go any lower. So this April will mark 1 year before the next Bitcoin halving. So I personally believe we will see crypto increase this April. Okay, so yeah, but there's a problem with that, and it'll probably be May before we see a rally. What is going on, Kai? Mr. P Crypto, good morning. Dalton, good morning. CEO 100 BRL Life in the house. Jeff T, good morning. Greg, good morning. Beaver Lumber up here. Tom Collide, Voltronics, Daniel Volt, Jason Frazier, Juice in the house. Kamal here. Angel, what is going on? Maddie B in the house. I don't even know how to say that. God damn. Luna Classic. Luna Classic's way down today, but everything is way down, so there's nothing There's nothing weird about what's going on with the market. But let's get into the interesting stuff right here. Dow futures fall more than 100 points as traders brace for a busy week of earnings, Fed rate decision. And this is written by Sarah Min and Jesse Pound. You know what they're doing right now? Do you know what they're doing? They're updating this article. They keep updating this article. It was updated a few minutes ago. Do you know why? Because it was down 200 points. So they had to go in here and they had to change all their numbers to say Dow futures fall more than 100 points as traders. A little while ago, it was 200 points. And you know what it was before that? More than 250 points. And then it was more than 300 points. So just all over the place. And the pre-market has been up and down. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 154 points. Everybody's getting nervous all of a sudden. And why are they getting nervous? Well, this is the week right here. Now, going back to what Chris said, if I don't see a 20 to 40,000 rally, neither do I. But I also don't know what this week brings us, right? When we get to the end of this week, we're going to have a clear understanding. So what do we have? We have the FOMC minutes. We don't get the minutes, but we're going to get the FOMC meeting. We've got McDonald's. We've got General. You know what? Let's just take a quick gander, if we can call it that, at the earnings that we have this week. This is going to predict what happens, okay? This week, or today, nothing. It just, some billion-dollar companies. I'm not saying it's not important. They're all important companies, obviously. But tomorrow, Exxon, $500 billion company. Pfizer, $250 billion company. McDonald's, $200 billion company. UPS, $155 billion company. And then Wednesday, we have Facebook at $342 billion reporting. We've got T-Mobile at $182 billion. We've got some very large companies reporting. Then we get to this is the day of the Fed announcement when we get Facebook earnings, right? And Facebook earnings might be a little bit better than they were last time because that's something that's struggling, right? Well, today that Wednesday leads us to Thursday. Thursday is either D-Day or let's get after it day, because on D-Day here we've got $2.5 trillion Apple, we've got $2.5 trillion Google, and we've got $1 trillion Amazon, all reporting on the same day. We've got Eli Lilly, Merck, Gen Digital. This is a big day on Thursday. And then on Friday, we come back down to quote unquote Earth. Until we get to next Monday, we got Activision Blizzard. And let's go, man. Adopt cryptocurrency. Quit playing around with your Activision Blizzard ass. Let's see what happens, right? But this is the month for the big rally, right? The FOMC meets on Tuesday and Wednesday when the Fed is expected to hike rates by 1/4 of a percentage point. Investors will be looking for clues as to how much higher the central bank will take rates in the fight against inflation. Traders have pushed stocks higher with this in part because of softer inflation reports, which they suspect would cause the Fed to soon pause its hiking campaign. But there is also this outside possibility that the Fed leans deep into this and hikes rates up to 50 basis points. Now, that would wreck the markets, and that is exactly what they're looking to do. That's exactly what Jerome Powell wants to do. Do you know why? Because he hates you. He doesn't want you to make any money. He doesn't want retail to be in profit, because retail being in profit is bad for business. And I know that sounds stupid, and you're like, but please, come on. Does America really hate poor people and middle-class people? Have you not been living here for the last 40 years? Of course they hate the middle class. They hate the fact that everybody could be rich, because guess what? The money has to always settle at the top. It's the way that it works. But as you can see here from the Dow futures, down 151, 31, and 133 to lead off the day. And what is this? So this is the moment where it's being priced in. This is where everything is being priced in, and we're going to see how this whole market shakes itself out over the next little while. The cryptocurrency market was trading at a very, very robust clip through the weekend. In fact, we're going to look at the charts, and it's just going to be just fascinating. But we're trading at 1.048 trillion right now, with a 24-hour volume of 55 billion. We're going to put a pin in all this. Listen, there's still massive increases up and down. Aptos 397%, Gala 229%, Threshold 170%, Mana 151%. And listen, just investing in these right now and then pretending that you didn't invest a year ago and lose your ass, you could pretend and you could tell everybody, I'm up 398%. I made all this money. Yeah, you didn't explain how much you lost investing in it way back when. You're just talking about your gains recently. So, yeah, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? But anyway, so Bitcoin, and it's holding up very well. Bitcoin dumped from, it was sitting around 23,008, and you can see right here, we're consolidating at 23,700, and it dips down and just absolutely the market collapses to prices we haven't seen in 2 or 3 days. So that's why you're not really seeing too many people too upset about where the price is going right now or what this dip has represented. Because look at this. If we take this and we take this, we're basically still in this channel that we're just trending upwards, right? So if this becomes our bounce point, and you can see here in the last hour, not confirmation yet, not confirmation. But if you look at here, then this last hour, we've seen this move back towards the upside. We've seen this kind of bounce off. This is the 15-minute chart, by the way. You've seen it kind of bounce off of here, and it looks like it might be moving back to the positive. So this could just be a little bump in that rally. You see it here touch twice on the half hours, and on the 1 minute. The 1 minute it's already spiking, which that goes pretty fast. But 3 minutes already spiking. We're back into the green. Money flows. 5-minute money flows back in the green. 15-minute money flows back in the green. 30-minute money flows still in the red, but closing the gap. 1 hour money flows way down, but we can see right now seems to be moving back up. Now, of course, Ethereum did not dump, by the way, as poorly as it had been dumping. And we can take this because we've already had the breakout here. But let's take this line right here, and then let's start to look at, what is it that we got here, right? So did we get, okay, so we're guessing, obviously, we're guessing, but we've got settlements happening around here, and then we've got dumps down into this area, and then a reversal here. So entirely possible that that's right. I'm not really sure. Listen, Ethereum has been incredibly volatile for the last little while. So that's made it very, very difficult to kind of predict where it's going to go. But full disclosure, I sold yesterday. I sold a big bag up here at the top. I sold at 1645, and now I just bought in at 1570 down here at the bottom. So I'm hoping for a nice little relief rally and a push back to the upside on the Ethereum pump. So, and it's up a few points from when I bought in. So feeling super good about maybe we're just going to get this little relief rally that's going on. But we're going to put a pin in this. We're going to come back to some of this chart action. Because the first thing that I want to do is I want to get back into some of the news. Okay, why is crypto market falling today? And then this is a pretty good synopsis right here. But it says that the dip is likely due to the lack of cryptocurrency market participants and poor profit making. That's not the point that I wanted to make, though. But furthermore, CME FedWatch tool estimates a 99.9% chance that the Fed will raise interest rates by 25 basis points at the FOMC meeting. Wall Street analysts, though, think investors will have to hold out for the Fed's turn a little longer because a 50 basis point hike raise is still an option. Nonetheless, the Fed's new rate announcement scheduled for February 1 could be one of the reasons for the dip in cryptocurrency markets. Okay, so now let's go back to Chris. Chris, if we get 25 basis points, it's business as usual. The rally continues depending on how Google, how Apple, how Facebook, how everybody kind of reports, right? So the rally could just be on and it could just continue. And by the way, if you haven't already, remember that Donald Trump, believe me, folks, if you want to be rich like me, you got to subscribe to the membership at the Bleeves Crypto YouTube channel. Trust me, it's huge. A lot of people are saying it's one of the best sites anyone's ever seen. I don't know about that, but they say it. So, I mean, if Donald Trump is saying it, guys, I mean, you got to think, right? There's something to it, right? There's a lot of people, more people than you think. That I can tell you. So, if you haven't already, become a member to the channel. Certainly helps me a tremendous amount. Tremendously. And yeah, so that's unbelievable, right? So anyway, so now we got the Fed rate announcement. So this is the week we got the profiteering of all of these tech companies. So that will give us an indication of what we're going to see. Now, this is where it gets important, by the way. And for this, we're going to pull up two things. I'm going to pull up Shiba. We're going to talk about Shiba Inu right there on this article, but we're going to pull up another site, and that other site is called Crypti. And Crypti is basically a tracking service for new investors, and it's going to be a tracking site for. And you'll see that I use it for Volt. Now, I've had people tell me, well, that's not accurate with Volt. Well, I'm not. I think it's accurate. I think it's it's been, if it's not accurate, it's very close, right? And here's, at the end of this, here's what I want to see, right? The purpose, the reason that we're going to bring this up, and the reason that we're going to look at this is because in order for all of what we want to succeed, in order for Volt to succeed, in order for Floki's up 200%, by the way, in the last week. So keep going down the line, right? In order for all of these cryptos that we need to succeed, we got to have Shiba Inu just start going crazy, because that's what's going to drive new investors into the market, and that's what's going to bring back retail investors, because they're going to see their wallets take off, and they're going to be like, oh my God, it's happening. Okay, that's how this is going to happen. So here's why Shiba Inu will be dominating the whale wallets. According to Whale Stats, this particular whale bought 120 billion SHIB worth 1.45 million. And here's the thing: a lot of people are a lot of whales are buying SHIB. Okay, the entire SHIB community has been waiting for the rollout of the Layer 2 Shibarium. After teasing the community for months, the beta version of the development of the Envision is making its debut in February. And remember, not only that, but once it launches, Chomp is going to be there, which is going to be the first crypto to launch on the Shibarium network. And guys, if you have not already, get yourself ready. Make sure that you have some Ethereum, some Bone, some SHIB, whatever it takes. Find out what it's going to take. I'll find out as we get closer. But whatever we need in order to buy Chomp, we need to buy Chomp, because this is going to be crazy. Additionally, the total addresses of the network surged to an all-time high of 1.29 million. So we're starting to see development in SHIB, right? Steering away from the notion of the cryptocurrency market, the price of SHIB witnessed a dainty increase of 0.68 over the past 24 hours. This was much lower when compared to its counterparts. At press time, the meme coin was trading at 11.96. So it didn't move yesterday while the market went crazy, right? While the market went crazy, and isn't Shibarium going to be mostly for Bone? Bone is just, no, I mean, yes, it should be Bone that you're trading, but it's on an Ethereum, it's an Ethereum thing on the blockchain. So I would think that you'd be able to trade for SHIB, Bone, or ETH. Bone is simply the gas that you're going to be using, right? So I don't know yet. We're gonna have to see what happens in the beta phase. So once we get the beta, we'll have a clearer understanding on how it works. But I would think that as a layer 2 solution, that it'll probably have some kind of something. But yes, you might have to load up on Bone just in case. But hold off. Now, here's the thing. This is what matters right here. So this is the holder tracker, and you can see right here in the last 1 hour, and this is not, I don't know if this is updated, so we're going to hit refresh over here. The one thing I'll say about this site is it doesn't refresh very well. So in the 1 hour, we've lost 15 holders on Shiba, but in 1 day gained 1,588. Now this is the holder tracking over the last 30 days. Over the last month, 31,461. 3-month change, 102,000. 6-month change, 270,000. Now here's the thing. If you take 31,000 and you multiply it by 3, that's 93,000. So that means that the holder and the rate of growth on Shiba, in my mind, is mathematically slowing down. Now, if you look at the 6-month change, that's 270. So 31,000 times 6, That's 186,000, but there's 270,000 here. So what I do want to say about Shiba is the rate of growth is slowing right now. It's not getting bigger. It's not getting faster. So that should let you know and remind you in this market that the rate of growth is not as parabolic as it was over here. Now, it's still running at a fairly good clip. This is a 3-month chart, right? And there were a lot that was lost in this November, this nasty little November, right? But the move right here seems to be moving to the upward to the upward direction, which is look, we want to see more SHIB holders getting added. More SHIB holders means more vaulted holders. It means more Floki holders. It means more. I got the list over here. It means more Decanect, more Saitama, more Lillian, more Cult, more Terra, more Wagme, more Hulk, more BCB, more NGN, more Shibi. It means everybody has more holder. The basis and the pool starts to expand incredibly when you see SHIB start to run. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for SHIB to start to run. Now, with that said, the top 3 cryptocurrencies to watch in February, since we only have 2 days left. And this, by the way, could be a record month for let me see here. I'm told, let me not get ahead of myself, but I'm told that this month in Bitcoin is going to be potentially record setting. And there we have 44% in 2013 was the biggest month ever. And we were over that, I think, a little while ago before this retracement, but we're still at 39%. This is the biggest increase that we've seen since 2013. So does it mean the rally's on? Well, not really, because you can see here, just because you have a good rally doesn't mean that it's going to be great, but still, I mean, this is a 36% in February. And look, by the way, just so you guys understand here too, go down this list of February, and February has been green. It's had this one correction in 2014, and it's had this 8% correction, but look at how good February has performed. And then look at how good March has performed in the last 4 years. So I would expect that February and March are going to be green, and that we're going to see the red is going to be right here, but we're not going to see much red through April. Yes. May, a little bit. And then June is where it all starts to come together, and we start to get that 26% lift, and then we start to see some positive movement. So I think that's how it runs. But top 3 cryptocurrencies to watch in February 2023. What are we always talking about? Number 1, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is what moves the market. You can like different tokens. You can be impressed by whatever tokens that you prefer. You can think your token is awesome, but Bitcoin moves the market. Number 2, Ethereum. When Bitcoin falls, when Bitcoin doesn't make the move that you're expecting it to make, Ethereum is generally there to pick up the slack. And look at this. When this article was done, Bitcoin was trading at 23,723. Ethereum was trading at 1635. By the way, it's 1584 and 23,161 right now. And the last one, Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu has some big releases coming later this year, but the most anticipated is the project's Layer 2 launch, expected to go live in February of 2023. SHIB is one of the most popular cryptocurrency projects out there, and the launch of the new network Shibarium might push the token to new heights. At press time, Shiba was trading at 1205, now down to 1196 in the last 24 hours. So that's going to be, those are the 3 to watch, right? Those are the ones to make sure that you got something positive going on. Now, let's move over here, and open interest registers sharply jump. Bitcoin open interest has made a jump of 8.3% over the past day. Open interest means people are doing futures contracts. So with futures contracts, this would mean that there's a lot of volatility coming. Now, listen, we've been watching a very non-volatile Bitcoin over the last, look at this. So we saw this wreck this morning, right? Where we lost 700 points of price action, and everybody looked at the chart and they were like, oh my God, what's going on with the market? What just happened, right? In your mind, you know, most people did, right? And you can see that. How do you see that? Well, the entire meme coin market turns almost red in an instant. So, you know, I mean, what do? You know, everybody's like, oh my God, here we go. Well, not really, because did it really do anything other than test the top of the last level before it takes off and creates this new top? Now, listen, it's still moving in this upward fashion. And what you can expect and what we're looking to happen is this move up here, and that we're turning this into support. That's it. That's the next move. That means that Bitcoin is now at 24,300 at least, and it creates another leg up. Now, the last leg up was a big one, right? Because that was where we go from 16,000 all the way up here into this 20,800 channel, where we sit here testing 21 for a little while, and then we make this next leg up, and then we're consolidating right here, and then we started to make that move, and now it came back down because it wasn't ready yet. But as a matter of fact, if you look at this and you look at over there, you can see the same thing basically happened right here. Before we started to move, we're still in an upward trend, and then boom, we finally made that move. So now, what's it going to take for us to finally make that move? Well, guess what? Here we are we're in it right now. Here's all the flags for you. We've got the jolt, the job openings. We've got the, let's zoom in just a little bit. We've got the we got the Fed interest rate decision. We've got the non-farm payrolls. We've got the ISM non-farm. Everything that you could possibly need for this week is all in place to see how we run. Now, if this runs, then we'll be at not 24.3, we'll be at 25, right? So this is, we're hopeful for this move. So that's where everything sits when it comes to that. Now, Ethereum price hints at a potential rally, but this resistance is key. And the key resistance, I think, is going to be like 1,670 or 1,680, because you can see here, and I didn't read this article yet because we've got this all sitting right here. And I think that the number is going to be about 1,680, could be 1,668 maybe. Yeah, it's kind of close in between, but there's a lot of settling right in the 1660 area, and this was used. 1660 was used as a spot last time. So Ethereum started another increase of 1620 resistance between the U.S. dollar rising and might rally if it clears the 1665 resistance zone. So they're looking at the same chart. You know, we're all looking at the same charts, and we're all just coming to different numbers. 1665, I don't see it. I would say more 1670 or 1680. Or 1660, just because that's where we had that local settlement, right? So long term, maybe there's something back here long term that you can look at to make that. But when we look long term, that's what gave us 1680 anyway. So you know, we'll see how this plays out, but we definitely want to see some of that. Yesterday we got 1660 as the local high. So actually, not even local high. That's just the most recent top. So now let's move on to Sam Bankman-Fried, because this shit is getting absolutely out of its mind. Guys, so FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried thought jail would be like the Shawshank Redemption. Is this like, I don't understand what is going on with this guy. Let's move this way. He thought jail would be like the Shawshank Redemption, that he was just going to sit in there and he was going to find a couple guys, and he was going to, I mean, what's he going to dig his way out or something like that? It did not end up being the way that he thought it was going to be. Well, that's ridiculous, right? And I don't know why that's news. It's just kind of crazy. But here's where it gets crazy, okay? SBF decides to request from U.S. prosecutors access to FTX funds. This is out of control, okay? Disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried said the recent government allegations painted him in the worst possible light, U.S. prosecutors allege that the SBF message to the FTX U.S. General Counsel Ryan Miller was an attempt to influence his testimony. And what I didn't even mention is before this happened, he sent a message via the Signal app to this guy, Ryan Miller. According to the SBF legal counsel, the distressed founder only reached out to assist with the bankruptcy case. They added that a similar message was sent to the bankrupt exchange CEO, John Ray, confirming that SBF was only trying to help. Lawyers added that the auto deletion feature the government complained about was not enabled for the message in question, and an email copy was sent to Miller. SBF lawyers proposed restrictions from FTX's accomplice, which, by the way, his parents are non-cooperating witnesses at this point. Caroline Ellison is now a non-cooperating witness. We don't know about Gary Wang yet and whether he's cooperating or non-cooperating, but SBF's legal team wants the court to grant him access to FTX funds because he was not involved in earlier unauthorized transactions. Like, he literally said, let me get some of that cheddar. Let me get some of that money. He's paying by the way, it's $2,000 an hour for his attorneys. So, I'm sure that it gets pretty expensive over time. So, according to the lawyers, the government's investigation into the unauthorized transactions have lasted for close to 3 weeks and should have shown that SBF's claim about the transaction was valid. Several Alameda wallets moved funds a few days after SBF was granted bail, prompting rumors he might be behind the transactions. However, SBF has repeatedly insisted that the said transactions were not from him. Meanwhile, federal prosecutors have seized roughly $700 million worth of assets from the disgraced founder. And listen, remember, this guy said, I'm only worth like $500,000. They've seized $700 million from Mr. I've only got like $500,000. That's come on now. That's look, there's no better indication that you're being lied to and deceived and manipulated when somebody says, I only have $500,000 and you've seized $700 million. I mean, what are you going to do? You'd be like, oh yeah. And that other 699 million that I had. This is absolutely out of its mind. But let's move on here. Let's get down into Crow. For Crow, you're looking at basically the same thing. Now, listen, we've fallen out, and the longer we fall out, the more you're looking at this. There's kind of a breakdown in the price action, and the question then becomes: so we're no longer following this pattern. So we're gonna have to kind of finish that off and say that's not going to happen. So now the question is, how does crypto.com get to 10,000 or 10 cents? I'm sorry. How does it get to 10 cents? And, at best, maybe you can make an argument. And look, sometimes when you look at these charts, you just want to create a bullish something, right? So if I'm doing that, I can take a disjointed channel right here and I can drop it here and here. And other than this little breakout right here, it's been pretty perfect that it's a bull pennant that's playing out. So I can convince myself right here that that's exactly what's playing out, is this bull pennant that should be breaking to the upside pretty soon. So I think with crypto.com, I'm kind of maybe kidding myself just a little bit about where it's going. I can tell you this: if I look, if you scroll out a little bit, you can still see that it's moving towards the upside. It's just no longer moving at as robust a pace as it was moving before. But of course, the same can be said with Bitcoin, same can be said with Ethereum, same can be said with the entire market. The bull run, so to speak, is now over. So that puts us in a different predicament, a different circumstance. And by the way, look at SHIB. SHIB has not held up at all very well. The rest of the market rallied. The rest of the market pumped super hard yesterday. SHIB did not. It just continued to consolidate. Again, this is the indicator of retail money coming back into the market. By the way, do you guys like the new art in the background here? This is all ChatGPT AI generated stuff. Or no, I'm sorry, it's not ChatGPT. This was Midjourney. I started doing a whole bunch of new art and stuff like that, and I created all of them, a whole bunch of new backers, new backgrounds with Midjourney. So I thought they were fun. I haven't put them all together. Like, I've got a bunch of them, but I felt like there was something, so that I'm not using somebody else's stuff, that I can create my own, or at least have it done digitally. It's free, so why not, right? So yeah. But let's move on. Luna Classic down 1692. You can see here that it did break down. Money flow looks like it's moving back to the positive, just like everything else. It looks like we just got that kind of dip going down and around. So maybe nothing to be scared of. Dow Jones is now down 83 on the day. Remember, it wasn't that long ago we were down 300. It wasn't that long ago we were down 200. It wasn't that long ago we were down 100, and now we're down 80. So it looks like the market might have got a little bit nervous, got a little bit out of the way, and the rally that the rally that was on might just be back on. Let's go look at what we had happen this morning. The 30th Franklin Resources misses. That's $2 billion in market cap. That's a close miss. Dynex, 30 million. We're not going to worry about that. Sterling Bank Corp, 27.5 million. We're not going to worry about that. SoFi Technologies, 480. Okay, so SoFi Technologies, 456 million, loss of 5 cents a share. Predicted loss was 9 cents a share. So they actually ended up beating their estimates. Alliance Resources, 700 million. It looks like they beat by a lot. Life Cycle, 3 million. Not worried about that. 5.5 billion on 4.9, 42. The earnings of 42 on a consensus of 6 cents. So they absolutely crushed it. So it's a good morning so far for investment, but it's not a bunch of big companies. So the interest is still lagging behind. So yeah, they don't do topless, by the way. I was seeing something about that. Like, I don't know. There's probably AI that takes off the rails and probably does all kinds of crazy stuff. But I think like Mid-Journey and stuff like that, the best you can hope for is that they would be like clothed, bikini clad or something like that. I was seeing that on Twitter yesterday because people were talking about AI generated adult pictures, and like it's just bonkers. Like okay. I mean, listen, you never know. You never know. Anyway, so but anyway, Crow not holding up nearly as well as it could be or should be. Luna Classic making that move around. Now, luckily, we've got so many lines of support. And look, I've just got this ridiculous kind of, this chart is so drawn out. Problem is, here's the problem, right? With Luna Classic, the thirst and the amount of whatever's going on right here, it's got to go over the 200 EMA. And as you can see from this, the 200 EMA is on its way up. So not great. This thing is going to have to get up here in this 20 range to get above the EMA. Now, the market could do that. But, I mean, we're going to need to see something. There is a proposal out, by the way. Remember, guys, if you follow me and it's about Luna Classic, then you will know I am big on the fact that USTC is going to is going to be on the move, like big on the move. And we'll move out here, and you can see here as we get a little bit more. That's what it looks like right now. And I do think that this is going to pump up to like 3.5 cents, which is where that red line is up at the top. So I do think that there's a big move on tap. And it's going to be when we start to see some of the proposals that you can get over at Station. I don't know if there's an actual one up yet. I really haven't looked, to be fair. Like I skipped it today. Here we go. We've got cease payment to Jacob Gadicki. That's just ridiculous. Look, that guy's. Look, you should not be attacking handicapped people, and this dude is not right. Okay. So this is a signal proposal for the Ziggy UST repeg action plan, an upgrade to the Terra coin algorithm using a code addition known as the exchange rate modifier. Voting for this signal proposal signifies that you are in agreement of participating in the work outlined to repeg USTC, which includes, but is not limited to, development of the ERM, obtaining consensus from developers, CEX, and other blockchain markets as necessary, and testing, modifying, and iterating in the process as necessary. Community spends are not part of this proposal. Contributors, this repeg initiative may request funds on an additional basis and separately from the proposal as decided by the Community Classic. For context of the proposal, please find the 1 and number 5 discussion pieces in Agora. Okay, so far, it's not passing, but it ends in 7 days. So it was just released just a little while ago. There's some no vote. There's a lot of yes vote, but that could be just, it could just be one person. But let's go look here. So the ideas here is modify the Luna exchange rate with novel fee variable, of course. Apply the incentive for arbitrage on a penny by penny soft peg basis. ERM and pendulum. Okay, so all right, this is gonna be too much. There's 5 parts, it looks like. Okay, so there's 5 parts to it. We're gonna have to look at this. Pros and cons. In simple terms, the pros boil down to designing a more efficient system for Luna Classic and UST that can burn more than the tax rate can, create a smoother environment for dApps and its users, and ultimately reach the penultimate goal of repegging USTC. The cons for this proposal is that it is costly to make now and over time, and if so, the community is not interested in expenditures that developers or contributors request for Ziggy, or if they do not have that means to enact parts of the proposal, then the proposal has failed by way of default. So it's an expensive proposal that is not going to, okay, so this is not going to pass. This anything that costs a ridiculous amount of money isn't going to happen. So, but let's close this out, and we're going to move on right now, and we're going to get into, and we're going to do this like quick. First, Volt 7829, again, breakdown in price, not because of Volt, but because the market conditions are just such that these breakdowns in prices are continuing to happen. You can see this sort of consolidation over here to this downside has been happening. When it pumped yesterday, it didn't pump, just like SHIB. What does that mean? That means that retail is not in the market. That's what it's telling you. And the retail that is in the market, Yakuza over here, the retail that's in the market, they're going into these early, it's early opportunity tokens and stuff like that. You can see, let's go across the top here. BCB down. God damn it, pumped again. I was thinking yesterday, like, man, it's down. This is not this. I need 1 hour. When it dropped down right here, this was a buy zone, but it happened while I was asleep. So now it's up 30% from where it dumped a little while ago. And at this point, probably going to mint a new all-time high again. This is where people are. Holder count, by the way. Holder count is not fantastic, right? 1,884, but it is significantly continuing to move to the upside. BCB has a lot of enthusiasm for it, and it's moving. So definitely something to watch. 80% in the 7-day window. By the way, if you got in way before that, you're up 200%. Take your profits. Make sure that you're one of those people that are taking their profits. There's a lot of enthusiasm for BCB right now. Again, this red line right here. If you can see this happen and it hits that line one more time, that's your buy-in total. If you're looking to make a play, don't buy on the green candles. Don't try to get in right now. Have patience. Wait for it to hit the red. Look what happens when it hits this red line. Boom. Hits this red line and it boom. So we're up 30%, again, just in a short period of time. So that does appear to be a valid line. Now, it's the third time around. It may not work. Just in all honesty, it may not work. So BRL is up 0.6% at $1.90, really just basically trading sideways. Now, one of the things that was exciting about BRL was that Neroni AI, but I'm going through Neroni AI, and I don't really see, it's somebody named Adam that's part of, that's already part of BRL. It's not a big project. I thought it was a bigger project when I was looking at it. Like I thought it was Neuron AI, but it's Neroni AI. And I don't know I don't think it's going to move the needle early on. It's a great partnership to have long term because it might just be something, and it might just be one of those AIs that start to run. And in fact, the token, once it launched, had a nice little run up. So people were like, hey man, have you seen Neroni? So it very well could be that Neroni is a nice play. But again, haven't looked up the charts. I know BRL is at $1.90. Would certainly like to see more. So what's happening right here? You can see here this upward trend is now completely broken. That means that the structure of what we were talking about before has now broken down, and that means that a number of holders seems to be reversing course. So it's going to have to be some movement in the positive. Otherwise, people are going to continue to lose interest. The price is going to continue to go down. There has to be a pump, and if there's not a pump, there's going to be some more dump. So Bone trading sideways at 133. Not exactly, I don't think. Let's go look over here. Yeah, this is actually the buy zone. And 118 was the other buy zone, but you can see here, like it's consolidating right here. So when it pumps here, it only pumps up a few percentage. So it's really not a great move. It's just kind of a consolidation thing. So, but if it moves, then the next move is to $1.50. So that's it's almost 20% increase, maybe 30 if you get up to 162. MMAI basically trading sideways for the last bunch of days after this high of 43 up here. RBIF down 1%. Cato still kind of struggling at 15 million market cap. So it takes a little bit to get that thing moving. Saitama at 25.19, continuing to have some downward momentum, down 4% on the week after what really was just a massive sort of run. And listen, I told you guys that if it could break out of here and start pumping, then it would be something good, but it didn't. It instead just continues to move kind of sideways. When it moves sideways, eventually people lose interest and they're going to move on. So you can probably kind of break out like it's kind of like this, and this pump right here probably isn't. I mean, you can probably still see that there's a bit of a pennant formation. I don't like where some of that structure is, but let's just say it's kind of right there to make it look right. So that kind of puts it in a breakout mode. And if you're being honest, you got to kind of move it up here just a little bit. So it puts the breakout here sometime around February 2nd, which would be Thursday. Yeah, it'd be Thursday, which is the day that all of the stuff that's supposed to happen does happen. Now, here's the thing. When you look at Sita Realty, Sita Realty is a kind of a sister project, and it's based on real estate. And they're trying to buy and sell property to try to make earn a yield, which is great. That's actually a great thing. That's how you create wealth and value. But that's for the Sita Realty token. And if you have to sell your Saitama to buy Sita Realty, what are you doing for your Saitama token? So yes, for Ghost, for Scottish, and for Saitama Green, I understand it because I think that's a very good that's a very good idea. And I think that Sita Realty, if it performs, is a game changer because it's one of the first real world real estate tokens. It's a tokenized thing, right? And we don't see a whole lot of that yet. It's a great concept, but if it takes money away from Saitama, then is it really helping? It's certainly not helping in the short term, and it remains to be seen if it helps in the long term. We can all think that it's gonna help, but the question is, will it actually in that long term? So you have to have a lot of faith to say, yeah, it's absolutely going to work, because we don't know that to be the case. So that's what I'm waiting to see. Moving on, Cult at 80.17, still struggling, still just, still, look, I'm trying to be positive about Cult, but, the Cult makes it very difficult. You can see here that, again, just a big pennant formation. Everything is a pennant today. I mean, just easy. Shib, gigantic pennant formation. Lillian, 6205, Terrarium 3032, not doing anything. Wagme 2967. Wagme continues to struggle, but it just continues to struggle sideways. Hulk 4124, BCB we can see is already recovering. NGN 9200. By the way, NGN loving. I'm getting a breakdown on NGN. I'm going to be doing a new video on NGN. So if you haven't already, definitely go check it out. We're going to have a full coverage on what the future of NGN looks like. And I want to stress that a lot of the details that I was given, these guys have a little capital that they're ready to use in order to get themselves listed on major exchanges. They're negotiating with these people right now. And if that plays out to the best advantage, then NGN is going to have just a gigantic run. And the same thing, by the way, with Decanect. Decanect's got 3 exchanges that are going to be listing. One of them is going to be listing in 11 days. So there's going to be like an announcement. There's going to be kind of a buildup on what's going on with Decanect. And remember, it's not this part that's going to be affected so much by it, but it's the arbitrage that will end up being affected. And with an opportunity for this thing to do 3 or 4x, look, it's $600,000 market cap. But when it gets listed and it starts doing a volume of $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a day on a bigger exchange just because people want to trade on it, then Decanect goes maybe not to the moon, but it would be nothing to see Decanect suddenly move from a $600,000 market cap up to a $3 or $4 million market cap. That would be like a 5x from where it is right now. So, and that's going to be because all of these exchanges are out here and the volume is moving. It's trading at a higher clip. All of those great things that could happen will start happening. Same thing with NGN. Only NGN, they are shooting for a big exchange. A couple of them, actually. Shiba kind of looks dead to me. It looks like they've decided that this is put a pin in this. It is absolutely done. So if you got in Shiba, it's a pump, it's a dump, and now we're moving on. So yeah. All right, guys, that's my time. It's not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I am always right. We will see you guys again very, very soon. Be very careful in your trading today. Remember, there's not a whole lot going on, but this is a pricing in day, so we may not see all of the pump that we're looking to get happening. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys again for bedtime tonight.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds.